Izuku Midoriya had always known life wasn't fair, equality was something many never truly experienced. It was just another ordinary day for 12-year-old Izuku. He dragged himself out of bed, headed to school, and tried to stay unnoticed, especially around the school's fiery star, Katsuki Bakugo. Izuku wasn't the image of a budding hero, just a kid who had been lucky enough to inherit a powerful quirk that inflated the egos of those around him. After classes, he usually immersed himself in his hero journals, tracking heroic deeds across the city. Today was promising. He caught sight of the new hero, Hawks, confronting a massive pufferfish villain, skillfully dodging its spiky defenses. Excited, Izuku was heading a few blocks away when he heard a commotion in the park. "What do you think you're better than me?" Bakugo's voice roared across the playground. Izuku's stomach sank as he spotted Bakugo and his gang looming over some students from another school. "Bakugo, stop!" Izuku shouted, earning a glare sharp enough to slice through steel. "Did you just speak, Deku?" Bakugo sneered, flashing a mischievous grin. Izuku wiped sweat from his brow. "You can't just attack people, Kachin, it's not heroic," he stammered, searching desperately for an escape route. But Bakugo's followers had already cut off any way out. Izuku braced himself. He had heard this routine before, from childhood to now. Bakugo always needed someone to prove his superiority. "Well, aren't you going to say something, nerd? Speak up, Deku." Izuku met Bakugo's fiery glare without flinching. Calmly, he replied, "You'll never be a hero, not because you lack power, but because no one respects a hero who behaves like you." The words struck Bakugo like a lightning bolt. Rage consumed him, leaving Izuku battered on the ground, but alive. Bakugo stormed off with his cronies, muttering to himself about proving his greatness one day. Izuku lay there, catching his breath and questioning his path. "If I don't confront challenges, how can I ever become a hero? Maybe I should just give up." A voice broke his thoughts. "These are some impressive notes." Startled, Izuku looked up to see a man sitting nearby, inspecting his journals. With dark burgundy hair, a scar on his forehead, and Hanafuda earrings, he wore an old-fashioned green checkered haori over a traditional uniform. Athletic and composed, the man radiated quiet confidence. "Who are you?" Izuku asked cautiously. "I'm sorry. I saw you lying there while on my walk. Your notes caught my eye, they're excellent. Your attention to detail is impressive," the man said warmly, his smile honest and unguarded. "Thanks, mister," Izuku replied, gathering his belongings. "You want to be a hero, don't you?" the man asked, tilting his head slightly. "Yes, more than anything," Izuku said, surprising even himself with his determination. "And not for fame or fortune. No, I want to save people. To help others," smiling, like All Might, Izuku answered, feeling his resolve harden. The man's expression grew serious. "Do you think you can achieve that as you are now?" Izuku hesitated, aware of his limitations as someone quirkless. Some are simply born with advantages, talent, opportunities, or powerful quirks. Others must work twice as hard, the man explained, studying him intently. But determination can bridge gaps. Do you have what it takes to chase your dream? Izuku met the man's gaze. Not yet, but I will. I'll train, I'll get stronger, and I'll protect people with a smile. Good. Then let's start now, the man said, jogging off. Confused but trusting, Izuku followed. Train me. Who are you? You could call me a hero of old, the man replied cryptically. They ran together, and Izuku mimicked the man's breathing technique. Soon, he felt, as if he could run forever, a surge of energy bolstering his legs. They ran until they reached the base of a mountain. Exhausted, Izuku struggled to keep up, while the man seemed unaffected. You don't have a quirk? Izuku gasped. No, the man replied. The realization hit Izuku, this man had accomplished incredible feats without powers. He was determined now more than ever to learn from him. This is the point of no return, the man said as they approached a small shack. If you follow me up this mountain, you will face a test that will push your limits. It may be dangerous, even life-threatening. But if you succeed, you'll move one step closer to your dream. Do you accept? Without hesitation, Izuku placed his bag inside the shack. I accept. The man led him up the mountain. I'm surprised by your courage. Most would hesitate. I need to catch up to my peers, Izuku said firmly. I need to prove to myself that I can be a hero. You've already taught me so much today. The man nodded. Then use everything you've learned, from heroes, from your studies, and even from that explosive boy earlier. A dense fog began to envelop the mountain, and the air thinned. Prepare yourself, Izuku Midoriya. Your test begins now. Izuku sprinted down the mountain, navigating pitfalls and traps using his keen observation and reflexes. He remembered the lessons Bakugo had unintentionally taught him, realizing his agility was sharper than he thought. Every step brought him closer to becoming the hero he dreamed to be. Finally, he reached the bottom, bruised, battered, and exhausted. The man approached him, kneeling to check on him. You've done well. None of your injuries are fatal. This training, it's extreme, but necessary if you wish to reach your goal, he said gently. Are you going to train me? Izuku asked, too tired to hide his apprehension. Not me, the man replied sadly. I don't have long in this world. But I have entrusted someone to guide you. You will become strong enough to fulfill your dream. Before Izuku could ask more, the man handed him the Hanafuda earrings. Follow your dream, Izuku. Become a hero. I know you can. Suddenly, another boy appeared, a pale teenager in a white kimono. Tanjiro, Kamado Tanjiro, the boy greeted, introducing himself. Welcome to the Demon Slayer Corps, Tanjiro said with a fading smile. Izuku's journey had just begun, and for the first time, he could see a future where he could truly become a hero. Izuku couldn't tell how, but suddenly he found himself engulfed in complete darkness. Nothing could be seen or heard, it was as if every sense he had was dulled. Still, he kept walking, guided only by instinct, until a faint light appeared in the distance. As he drew closer, a rhythmic drumming grew louder, resonating with each step. A soft breeze brushed his skin, carrying the scent of something burning, and somehow he could even taste the warmth of the light itself. The closer he came, the more the sensation intensified, until finally he could see its source, a masked man dancing within a circle of torches. The movements were hypnotic. Every gesture, every sway seemed to reach into Izuku's senses. He could feel the rhythm, smell the smoke and fire, hear the drumbeats in perfect harmony, and even taste the motion as if he were dancing himself. Flickers at the edge of his vision caught his attention. Another circle of torches, identical to the first, glimmered invitingly. Drawn to it, Izuku stepped in, eager to try the dance. He mimicked the masked man cautiously at first, stumbling over some steps and struggling to keep pace while observing simultaneously. But after a few tries, he began to move with fluidity, losing himself in the rhythm. With every motion, his senses sharpened until the world around him snapped into clarity. The darkness lifted. He could see the mountains, hear rustling animals, smell the earth and grass, feel the wind, and taste the crisp morning air. Pushing harder, he danced faster, until the world seemed transparent, every breath tangible as stone. Suddenly, he realized his body radiated heat, not ordinary fire, but as if he were burning with the sun itself, illuminating everything around him. Only then did he stop, blinking at the masked man who was now motionless, watching him. Did I do this? Izuku asked, stunned. The man lifted his hand from the mask, revealing himself. Yes, Izuku, he said gently. It was Tanjiro. I don't even know why you did this. I'm weak, quirkless, slow, why me? Izuku demanded, torn between frustration and gratitude. Tanjiro regarded him calmly. Izuku, how many people could perform what you just did? Perhaps a few, but not without years, maybe decades, of dedication. You accomplished it in a single evening. You shone as brightly as the sun, and you have the potential to do so for the whole world. Izuku's mind raced. So, was that a quirk? My senses were heightened beyond anything I've experienced. I could feel what was inside things far away. That could help with search and rescue, combat training, even fighting, he babbled on, awestruck. Tanjiro smiled. I wish I could explain more about the breath of the sun and the other styles. But I cannot. Yushiro will guide you, he can answer all your questions. I just hope he's matured since my time with him. I cannot say if he has moved on from Tamayo. Tamayo, my friend, lost long ago, Tanjiro replied, a wistful expression crossing his face. Then, with a bright smile, I trust Yushiro to guide you. May your dreams bring you joy. It's time to wake up. Izuku awoke, immediately noting he was no longer in his bed. His body ached, and someone had changed his clothes to a light green robe. As he explored the room, he realized he was inside a traditional Japanese house. He followed a girl down the hall, a young woman with dark hair in a ponytail, wearing a purple floral kimono and carrying a tray of tea. "Ah, you're awake. My master wondered when you'd rise," she said neutrally. Izuku, unaccustomed to such attention from girls, simply nodded and followed. They entered a spacious living area with a panoramic view of the mountains. Seated at a small table was the pale boy from before, in a white kimono, looking at a tablet. He looked up as they approached. "You're awake. I am Yushiro. Please, sit, we have much to discuss." Izuku complied, unsure of what awaited him. The girl served tea, and Yushiro broke the silence. "Tell me, who are you?" "I'm Izuku Midoriya. Thank you for taking care of me while I was unconscious." Yushiro's gaze fell to the Hanafuda earrings on the table. "How did you come by these?" "Tanjiro gave them to me," Izuku explained. Shock registered on both Yushiro and the girl, Tomo, who reacted instinctively by brandishing a knife. "Stop, Tomo," Yushiro commanded calmly. "He is our guest." Tomo lowered the knife, though her glare lingered. Yushiro turned back to Izuku. "Explain everything from the start." Izuku recounted his encounter with Tanjiro, the perilous mountain trial, and the dreamlike experience with the dance. Tomo seemed skeptical, but concern flickered across her face for Yushiro. Yushiro stood after a long pause. "Wait here," he said, leaving briefly. Izuku asked if he could call his mother. Tomo hesitated. "You've been unconscious for 4 days, she said dryly, giving him a sharp look. Izuku's heart sank. 4 days, she must be frantic. Yushiro returned carrying a picture frame and a training sword. He placed the frame before Izuku, revealing an old black and white photograph. "Is that Tanjiro? When was this taken?" Izuku asked incredulously. "Over 400 years ago," Yushiro replied. "But that's impossible. The first quirk appeared only 240 years ago. He is long gone," Yushiro said solemnly. "I witnessed his passing." Izuku stared at the seemingly teenage Yushiro, beginning to piece together his wisdom and age beyond appearances. "Show me the dance from your dream," Yushiro instructed, handing over the bakan. Izuku stepped into the familiar circle, and as he began the movements, his senses surged. The bakan ignited as if touched by sunlight. Tomo gasped. "You can use the breath of the sun. How is this possible?" Izuku, bewildered, asked, "What is the breath of the sun? What just happened?" "You've awakened an ancient ability, one older than quirks themselves," Yushiro explained. "It hasn't been seen in over a century. With it, you possess power that shaped the world. I will train you, teach its history, and reveal secrets known to only a few. Do you accept?" Izuku, odd and resolute, nodded. "I accept. Teach me how to become a hero." Yushiro smiled. "Not a hero, a demon slayer will suit you just fine." Katsuki Bakugo was having the worst day of his life. A sludge-like villain had him trapped, suffocating, trying to use him as a living skin suit. Struggling, he glanced at the surrounding heroes, paralyzed, frozen, useless. Anger boiled inside him. Then, memories flashed. The day he got his quirk, declaring he'd be number 1, the guilt when Ms. Midoriya searched for her son, the disappointment in his mother's eyes. And now, he might die here, unnoticed. From the back of the crowd, Toshinori Yagi, All Might himself, watched helplessly. "What kind of hero am I," he murmured, "if I can't save a single child?" A flash of green cut through the chaos, a figure moving like lightning, a katana in hand. The villain lunged, but before it could reach Bakugo, the boy in green struck. "Long time no see," Izuku said, calm and precise. "Deku." Bakugo coughed, regaining his breath. The villain screamed and charged, only to be obliterated by a series of precise slashes. The crowd fell silent, stunned. "He didn't just strike, he shattered the villain with his sword," murmured Death Arms. From the crowd, All Might stared, dumbfounded. How is he capable of this?" Izuku retrieved a wooden box from All Might and disappeared in a swirl of mist. "Tell my mother, she'll have to wait a bit longer," he said, vanishing before anyone could respond. At the police station, Bakugo and the heroes recounted the events. Ms. Midoriya arrived, frantic and tearful. "My son, is this really him?" she whispered. "Yes, ma'am," confirmed Bakugo. "He's alive. And he's changed." Detective Naomasa nodded. "Witnesses say he moved faster than any hero, manipulated illusions, and even created mist to escape. And yet, his files claim he's quirkless." Ms. Midoriya clutched her cat, tears streaming. "He's always been quiet. But this," All Might's gaze hardened. "If he has acquired these abilities, someone trained him. And whoever did it may know my fist all too well." Back on the mountain, Izuku returned to Yushiro and Tomo. "Master, I'm back," he said, setting down the box of ancient books. "Excellent," Yushiro said, inspecting the collection. "These belong to a descendant of an old friend of mine, stolen over a century ago. With these, your training continues." Tomo peeked at Izuku's notes. "These techniques, they're beyond anything in the old texts. How is he capable of performing them?" Yushiro sipped his tea. "Genetics, training, and opportunity. His father's quirk enhanced his physiology, giving him lungs, reflexes, and strength most could only dream of. And I've given him access to knowledge centuries ahead of its time." And so, Izuku's nights became missions, thwarting criminals, rescuing civilians, and leaving awe in his wake. At a bank robbery, he disarmed armed robbers with calculated precision, crushing metal arms and saving hostages. On a construction site, he dodged sniper spikes with perfect timing, executing Breath of Lightning to subdue a jewel thief. High above Kyushu, Hawks pursued a flying villain, Steel Angel, only to witness Izuku running on air, weaving wind blades with Breath of Air, intercepting attacks mid-flight, and finally engulfing his foe in the Breath of the Sun, Dawning Flame. Izuku wasn't just a boy, he was a force of nature. Yet behind every strike, every maneuver, was the guidance of Yushiro, the watchful eye of Tomo, and the echoes of a mentor long gone. Izuku's journey wasn't just about power, it was about responsibility, mastery, and becoming the hero the world didn't yet know it needed.